Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. How you are doing today? I hope you're doing wonderfully well. Oh yes, I am so fired up for today's episode. So once again, I want to welcome you all to Overcomers Connects and the Ask AB segments. Okay, so please, if today is your first time of joining me in this platform, this is a platform where we share our life experiences, where we seek brief counseling. If we want clarification with certain things going on in our lives, we want suggestions and all that. So please feel free to join us at any time, okay? So thank you so much. And today, our first caller for today's program, her name is Benita, and she's all the way in the US, the United States of America. So, hello.
Hello, Miss Abby. How are you?
I am doing fantastically well. How are you, Miss Benita?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're
Quite
welcome.
a long time.
Yes, it's been a long while. Finally, I'm here.
That's good.
Thank you so
How's
much.
everything?
I'm okay. Thank you for asking. How are you doing too?
I'm doing great.
Good to know. So please, what can I help you with today? What's your questions for me?
Hello, the Overcomers Worldwide. My name is Mrs. Benita from USA.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question for Mrs. Abby.
Okay.
Because I've been watching most of our programs,
Okay.
and I think this is a good place for me to come, just to be enlightened and to have more knowledge.
Thank you
because
so much.
I have a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, Mrs. Abby.
Yes.
I want to tell you a little of my story.
Okay, please go ahead. Feel free.
Yeah. So when I was young, I was living with my dad and my mom, but unfortunately, I passed through some experience, a bad experience,
Okay.
of which it affects me to the extent of having a husband. I was raped by my father when I was 9 years old.
I'm so sorry.
And that thing has been occurring because I was so young. I don't know what it means. But, we do have it often and often. But one day, I felt some pains. And I told my mom. My mom, she's a kind of person that she trusts her husband very well.
Okay.
And she doesn't play with her husband with anybody. She doesn't joke with her husband. Let me just put it in that way.
Okay.
So when I told my mom that this is what happened, that I'm feeling some pains and I don't know the meaning, I was trying to tell her this the predicament.
Okay.
But instead of my mom to pay attention with me, she just drive me, she shout on me. She said, what the hell? What kind of daughter are you? Why are you lying against your father? Your father cannot do that. He's my husband. Yes. She beats me, she shouts on me because I didn't see any remorse from her.
Okay.
And my daddy too, because my mom supported him, he was just trying to be doing that kind of thing with me. So later when I was 19 years, I now traveled.
Okay.
I traveled, I left their place. I traveled to meet my uncle in Australia.
Okay.
So when I got to the Australia, because of what happens to me, I hate seeing men. To the extent I have grown up, I have been higher school, but instead of me to have a male friend, I prefer to have a female friend because of what happened.
Yeah. To
the extent I can't even plan to have my own family because I love babies. I love children.
Aww.
But But because of what happens to me, I hate men. I don't want to see men around me.
Yeah.
To the extent most of my friends, they will be calling me, Benita, how are you? Who is your male friend? I will tell them I don't have male friend. They will, they believe maybe I'm practicing lesbianism.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't practice such. But because of the phobia I have then, so it makes me to run away from men. And I'm now, because I'm seeing my mates, they have a lovely family, they have a good children, and and I was trying to have my own babies. So, and I don't know how I'm going to do it because of the phobia I have.
Yeah.
Because of my back experience I have.
Okay.
And I have no one to talk to. So when I've been watching your programs that you give people advices when they have something bothering them, the way you will solve it for them, I say, no, let me just come to this Overcomers program that I will talk to Mrs. EBI and she will put me through.
Oh, my dear. Thank you so much for sharing this story. It takes a lot of, self-will, self-power, that conqueror spirit to come out and say you want to share this or even seek my, advice on something like this. So, thank you so much for coming on board today.
Thank you so much, Mrs.
Yes,
EBI.
you're welcome. And just hearing your story, it's so touching, and I'm sorry you had to go through this kind of, childhood, and then you have to go through this trauma. I'm really sorry about it, and yeah. So just to touch on some of the things you mentioned, you said from 9 years old you were being abused, so it's like your father was committing your father was abusing you, incensed with you, right? And
yes.
then you got to a stage where you called your mother's attention to what was happening, but your mother did not listen. Instead, she blamed you. She said you were lying.
Yes.
And then she supported her husband, which happened to be your father, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. And then
you're welcome.
And then so you started managing your life and all that. So by the time, the thing did not stop because there was no consequences, there was no accountability. Your father continued that abuse with you until you got to 19, and then you left home and you traveled abroad, and precisely you went to Australia, correct?
Yes.
To live with your uncle. So since that time, even before moving to the US, you are of age now, you want to get married, but you just cannot get married because of your life experiences, right?
Yes.
And you love children, like you mentioned. You love children, but you just don't know how to go about that without being with a man. And then you also need a family, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So your question for me today is, how do you navigate that? Having this feeling and then trying to build a family of your own, right?
Yes.
Okay. Benita, thank you once again. So, you see, again, just you coming out to share this story, it shows a lot of self-power. I want you to know that you are a conqueror, you're a strong woman. It takes a lot of boldness because that's quite a traumatic experience, okay? And and I want you to know that it's not just peculiar of you alone. A lot of things like this happen in our communities. You understand? Where people want to safeguard their name is like a honor. They don't want anybody to hear their story. They don't want anybody to know what is happening. So how am I going to explain that my husband is raping her own daughter? So even mothers, aunties, they tend to sweep it under the rug. But that is something that is happening to different women, girls, every day in our society. in our community, unfortunately, right? So yes, so it takes a lot of willpower to come out and speak about it, because I know a lot of women are going through similar situation. While growing up, they were either raped, abused by their brothers, cousins, uncles, even their own parents. So even if it's not talked about that much, even male children are being abused too. So
Exactly.
yeah, so they don't talk about it, and when you want to, when you say it, it's like a taboo. Nobody wants to believe you. They blame the victim. It's quite
Yes.
unfortunate, my dear, and it's sad. So I want you to know that
Thank you.
it is not something that we don't know of. It's just that unfortunately it's not something that's talked about. Okay, so you are not alone, my darling. Okay, so I want you to
Thank you
know
so
that first
much.
of all. Yes, so going through those traumatic experience, it is not something you just wake up and then you say, oh, it's gone, it's forgotten. No, that is trauma. Okay,
Mm.
it's
Thank.
trauma, and it's something that needs to be worked on. Okay, so
Okay.
since all this time, have you been able to speak to a therapist concerning your situation?
No, I haven't.
Okay, okay,
That's why I came to seek for your advice.
okay, my
What
dear.
to do and the
Okay,
next step to take.
okay, my dear. Thank you. So you see, anything to do with trauma like this, or anything to do with childhood abuse, rape, and all that is a very sensitive matter. Okay, it's quite
Okay.
sensitive, and it's not just something I would want us to explore. Okay, right here and now. I
Okay.
need to be in my clinical hat. Okay, I need to be in my practice to be able to, you know examine and do all the necessary assessment. Okay,
Okay.
and then I
Okay.
know there's a lot to this. There's a lot of things you want to talk about. There's a lot of
Mhm.
emotions underneath everything, and
Of
so
course.
this kind of topic, it needs a one-on-one
Well, no.
counseling, where we can talk about,
Exactly.
we can talk privately. Okay, where
Okay.
you will not be judged, where we can actually look at all the situations and the ways forward. Okay, so
Okay.
it's not something I'm intending to just give a solution immediately online. It doesn't work like that. This
Okay.
is a very sensitive issue. Okay, my darling.
Okay.
So but what
Okay.
I will tell you, you're a strong woman. Okay,
Thank you.
and then
Thank you.
for you to, since you have plans to have children, to create a family, you can still create a family, because one man was being bad and caused you a lot of pain and hurt, took you through trauma, especially somebody you grew up to know as a father, who was
Hmm.
supposed to protect you, to guide you, happens to be the perpetrator of your pain and your trauma. It is quite
Disheartened.
difficult. Exactly. So but you are not going to hold that all your life, to dislike men, to ruin your life, because when you keep thinking of these things, sometimes we give power to the perpetrator of our pain. And
Hmm.
no, you deserve happiness, my dear. You deserve to have a family. From your voice, from you talking, I can see somebody who is kind hearted. I can see somebody who wants happiness for herself. I can see somebody who wants to fight for that happiness. Okay, who wants
Okay.
solution to her trauma, to her pain. So I'm going to work with you. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to work with you, and together we'll be able to find common grounds on how you can navigate this. It's something you can
Okay.
navigate, and you can still fall in love. You can still have a family of your dream. Okay?
I will
And
be very much happy.
yes, because I would have said, okay, maybe you want to just have children. There are a lot of ways you can have children by yourself, but you see that family unit, that family structure is still very much
Yeah.
important when you're trying to have a family, to raise
Yeah.
children. So yeah, it's still that traditional kind of setting. Uh huh. So I think it's always beneficial for children to have a father present in their life too, you know,
Yeah.
only when
Hmm.
the circumstances does not,
Permit.
accommodate that or permit it, right? But in this
Okay.
case, you said you want to build a family, you want
Yeah.
to have a family, a home of your own. So my dear,
Exactly.
you can still have it, okay? I want you to
Okay.
know you can still have. By the time we work together, we will see how we can find common grounds and how I can support you
Okay.
to managing those symptoms of trauma, coming out of it, just navigating life.
Okay.
I will be more than glad to support you with that. Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yes. But please hang in there. Be strong.
I will.
No hopes. All
I
hopes are
will.
not lost. Okay.
Okay.
It's quite a shame that even in our society things like this are still happening. Okay.
Hmm.
It's quite a shame. It's quite a shame where somebody can actually rape all the girls in a street until they get old. Nobody will say nothing.
Hmm.
Mm? Because people are trying to protect their names. Because of the repercussion, people don't want others to know what is happening, and most women are just being raped. Go through
Hmm.
life being raped. It's so sad.
So
It's so
sad.
sad. Yes, it's sad.
Hmm.
But hopefully, yeah, you will come out of it, okay, my dear Benita?
Amen.
Okay?
Thank you so
Okay, be
much.
strong. And then I'm going to email you some resources too for you to look into, and then you
Okay.
let me know if you want me. I can also give you some 20 minutes of consultation too, right? So if you want me
Okay.
to work with you on this, so we can do one-on-one off cameras, okay?
Okay.
Okay, my
Yes, I
dear.
want it. Yeah.
Okay, sure, good, good, that's fine. So I'm going to email you everything, okay?
All right.
Okay, so is there any question you like to ask me before I let you go for today?
Uh, let's do it one on one.
Okay, good. So I'm
Yeah.
happy. So I've been able to support you more or less today.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
okay, my dear. Thank you so much, and be strong. Okay, you strong lady.
I
Come on.
will. I'm strong. I'm still trying. I'm trying.
Of
I'm
course you
trying.
are. Of course you are. Thank you so much, Benita, for calling.
Thank you, Mrs. Habe.
You're
Thank you so
welcome. You're
much.
welcome anytime. Take good care of yourself,
Okay,
my dear.
I will.
Okay, but
Thank you.
you're welcome. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye. Oh, God help us. That was quite a difficult one. You know, this is not a singular experience. It's not. Every day, even through counseling sections and all that, you see women who their immediate family, they abuse them, raped them through childhood. Especially in those communities where people don't actually have a room to themselves. Girls, you have 4 5 children in one room, both boys and girls, they are all sharing one bed. Cousins will come, rape your daughter. you know Uncles will rape, so abuse them. It's quite pathetic. It's quite a difficult situation, and a lot of girls still go through this today. I've heard a lot of stories. This is not a singular or just a peculiar case. This is something that we know it's happening in our society, and I just hope more women, can actually speak up. More women can actually seek support. So you see this lady now, she's of age. She wants a family, she wants children of her own. But because of her childhood experience, because of the trauma she went through, because of the abuse, where nobody even believed her, her mother knew it was going on and she just swept it under the rug, under the carpet, because she does not want anybody to know. So only God knows what these parents, fathers who do this, what they gain from it. What kind of diabolical sense of reasoning is that to have insects with your own daughter, with your own child? Oh my God, I pray this caller finds peace. You know, I pray she finds healing and are more than open to support her on a one-on-one basis. Yeah, because it's not something we can actually deal with here. Yeah, and sure. Oh, my dear fellows, um, at least we've come to the end of today's show, and thank you so much for your likes, for those who have subscribed, for those who shared my video, and just thank you for just listening. You know, I appreciate your time. May God bless you all for your time. All right, so until I see you again, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Remember, stay strong and stay free.